Hey everyone, today we are diving into the world of Python's recursion. But first, what is recursion? Imagine a function that instead of calling another function, calls itself. That's recursion. It's like opening a box and finding a smaller box inside. And inside that smaller box, there's an even tinier box, and so on. Let's dive into an example to understand the recursion. Let's create a function which we'll name as countdown, and this function will accept a number as an argument. So in the recursion function, there must be a stopping criteria. So we will first define the stopping criteria, and we will find that if n is less than or equal to 0, then we'll say that we'll just print that we reached the end. Else we will print the number itself first, and then within the else we will again call the down function itself of the body, and every time we call the countdown function we will pass n minus 1 as argument. So let's call the countdown function and pass it the value 10. Let's run the code. You can see it printed values from 10 to 1, and when it reached to the value 0 it printed reached the end. So what basically the function is doing, we passed 10 as the parameter, and first is checked if 10 is less than 0 or equal to 0. The condition is false, so it went to the else condition, and here it first printed the value which is 10, and then calls itself and pass value n minus 1. So you can see how the function is calling itself, and on each call is passing the parameter the value n minus 1. Let's walk through the example of factorial, and which is a classic example for understanding recursion. So I'm assuming you already know what factorial is. In case you don't know, so factorial 5 would be 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4 and multiplied by 5. So we'll first 4 multiplied by 3, and the product of that will be multiplied with 3, and the product of that will be multiplied with 2, and finally that is multiplied with 1. So this is how we find the factorial of a number. So I'll comment out this code. Now let's define another function, and this time we will call it factorial. Factorial will also accept a number as a parameter, and again first we'll define the stopping criteria. So we'll say that if number is equal to 1, then it should return 1, and else this should return the number, and the number will be multiplied by, I will again call the factorial of the number minus 1. To find the factorial of a number, you multiply it by the factorial of the number before it. This keeps going until you reach 1. So if condition is our stopping criteria, and in else condition we are calling factorial, and we are passing number minus 1 to the same function itself, and that factorial is then multiplied with the number. Okay, let's save the factorial in variable fact, and we will call factorial, we will find the factorial of 5, and finally we will print the fact. Let's run this code, and you can see our factorial of 5 is 120. So recursion is like a tree branching out. Each function call is a branch and it keeps branching until it reaches the stopping point. But be careful. If a recursion function does not have a stopping point, it will keep calling itself forever. So when should we use recursion? Recursion is great for problems that can be broken down into smaller and similar problems. Think of tasks like navigating file directories or solving puzzles. So to wrap this up, recursion is when a function calls itself. It's powerful but needs a clear stopping point, and use it when a problem can be divided into smaller and similar chunks. So that's it about recursion. I hope you learned the concept of recursion, and if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you.